Welcome to Manifest with Cassie, your weekly space for aligning your mindset, rewiring your beliefs, and stepping into the life you've always known is meant for you. I'm your host, Cassie, and each week I'll be sharing powerful, practical tools on manifestation that are not just inspiring, but grounded in neuroscience. Because it isn't about wishful thinking, it's about understanding how your brain works, how your subconscious shapes your reality, and how you can consciously create and change from the inside out. Everything I share here is something I've lived, practiced, and embodied. These are the tools that help me manifest my dream life. And now I'm here to help you do the same. So if you're ready to shift your mindset, expand what you believe is possible, and start creating a life that truly feels aligned, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. The next video that will explain everything is part of my manifestation lessons, which you can find in my private Facebook group. But I'm bringing it here so everybody can enjoy it in this podcast. So tune in and enjoy for the next few minutes. I'm bringing today a topic that I feel that it's quite crucial and important when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to reaching your goals, when it comes to, bringing into life whatever that is that you want to achieve. Because when we talk about manifestation, basically we mean that our thoughts, our goals, our desires are being manifested, right? We can actually, they're tangible, we can see them, we can feel them, we can experience them. That's exactly what manifestation is, nothing more, nothing less. So when we talk about this, one of the main things that we have to discuss, one of the main things we need to understand is that we have to be specific. Being specific, having specificity in what we actually do is what can actually give us the results that we require and that we need and that we attain and that we have. So I call it the law of specificity. It's not part of the law of the 12 laws of the universe that you probably have seen me explain in different lives, but it is a way that we can actually be specific and we can gain clarity in what we want to achieve. And I want us to take a step back and explain what it is that what I'm saying and what I'm teaching today and what I'm sharing with you. So gaining clarity is one thing, but clarity also brings specificity. When we are clear on what we want to achieve, when we're actually gaining a better understanding of who we are, what our purpose in life is, what we want to achieve, then yes, we're starting to get clarity in life and we start to become more clear in what it is that we want to pursue and what we want to become, or career-wise, what we want to have as a love relationship. Because I've had many people joining, commenting on my reels and on my stories, about that they want to have a love, gain a new career or have a love partner. So that's being a little bit more specific and getting clarity in what type of career you want, what type of relationship you want to experience. So when we have clarity and we're a little bit more clear on what we want to achieve and feel and experience, then we can actually become more specific. We can bring in specificity in that career, project, whatever you want to name it, that is. So when you bring in specificity in what you do, in a way, you're being clearer to yourself, and in a way, you're finding your dot. And when we're saying finding your dot is when you're finding your niche. And especially for people that are wanting to pursue a new career or a new job, because I had a few people on my stories commenting about that. When you want to be specific and when you want to gain specificity, is that you're specializing into something. And when you're specializing into something, that's when you draw the huge results, because you gain clarity in what it is that you want to manifest. You don't have that vague vision. You don't have those vague goals that sound nice, but in your head, they're very, very confusing and very, very disorganized and very mumbled. It's like how sometimes you are in a club and someone is talking to you and there's this like loud noise or people are talking and this person is just sitting right next to your ear shouting at you something, but you can barely understand what they're talking about. So this is the clarity, that's the specificity that I'm talking about. You have that desire, you have that will to do something, but you're not 100% clear on what that is. There is something that you want to achieve. Yes, you want to make more money. Yes, you want to have a career in this sector. Yes, you want to do this, you want to do that, but you're not clear. You have a vague vision. You can barely hear that person what they're saying to you, and that's your inner voice, that's your intuition that is talking to you, but you're not connected. You don't have that clarity in what it is you want to achieve. Yes, you vaguely know, but you don't really know what it is that you want to achieve, and that's what we're trying to work with neuroscience coaching. We're basically taking your own system and we work from that, and so we start from the human and we expand. We don't really start from the situations and we try to fit you in. We take the human and what they have experienced and what they know and what they feel and what they are aware and what their belief systems are, and we try to bring that into we try to expand that. We don't work the other way around, because when you work the other way around, you don't work with the humans, from starting as a first. You start the other way around, and that's more traditional and more rigid, and we want to be more fluid when it comes to that. So when you're gaining clarity, and I have to say clarity is the number one thing that people gain after my sessions. When we finish a session, the first thing people will say is, oh my God, Cassia, there's so much more clarity. Yes. You know why? Because we sat together, we had all these tools that I bring you with, all these techniques that I have, and you gain a better vision of what it is that you want to achieve. If you come with an agenda, we work together what on that agenda will be. If you come with a vague agenda, you don't even know what it is that you want, but you just feel so confused, we lay everything into the table, and we pick up on the topics that you feel more called to work on, and you want to gain the specificity, you want to be more specific, you want to be more clear. So when that works, the magic part that, I'm just going to see if I have any comments here, the magic part that brings everything together is that you are more at ease with your own nervous system. Because sometimes when you're not aware of your nervous system, and you're not aware of how much you can expand and of how quick or slow, everybody has their own timings in this life, you can expand, and it's not easy for you to achieve that in the timing that you probably have set yourself. Sometimes things happen a lot quicker, and we can expand a lot quicker in this lifetime because we're ready to do more things. Our nervous system is more ready. We're using neuroplasticity, and we can actually skyrocket and reach those manifestations and reach whatever we want in this life. So being specific and having specificity, as it is that I named this live today, is what will actually give us the clarity, and what will give us the results, and what will bring our manifestations to life. And just to give you a good understanding, when we become more specific in what we want to achieve, or for example, if we have I'll take it into the career sector, because many people are interested into the careers. So if we have a career that we want to work on, and we know this career is online, this career is on social media, or this career is in corporate, but we have a vague notion of goals, that's where we start from. And that's the great thing to have. You have a vague notion of goals, but when it comes to our coaching, and when we start working together, we have a better understanding of how that notion of goals will go and how those goals will form. Because I have people working with me and coming into my programs and working one-on-one together, that they have a quite vague understanding of what they want to do. They are unsettled, they're not aligned within themselves, and they know that something is wrong. And sometimes they may start with a career topic that they're not happy with their careers, and that might mean that they had to change a career altogether, or that might mean that they have to just change completely their relationship, their private life. It's amazing on how things work, and when we start working, we find this specific sector that is needs to be reworked in your lives and needs to be restarted. Let's say, like a computer, you have to just restart, reboot, so you can actually start fresh and see what is the topic agenda that you want to work on. So it's pretty crucial when we're being more intentional with our manifestations on what we want to achieve. And that's always the case, because when we bringing in the universe and bringing in the energetics part that I always love to bring in, we sometimes say, oh my God, universe, bring me this. Oh my God, universe, bring me this. The universe works like a dog. And how I will explain that. If you're playing fetch with your dog, you're gonna throw them this boomerang, whatever it is, the frisbee, and they're gonna fetch it and bring it back to you. But they know exactly what they're looking for. You're throwing a frisbee, a boomerang, and they are grabbing it and bringing it back to you. However, if you're just very vague with the universe and you say, "Oh yes, 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 universe, just bring me this shiny thing, this yellow thing, just this over there," that dog is not clear enough. Is what you're asking is not specific. How will that dog know what to bring back to you? They won't, because you need to have specificity in what you're trying to achieve. You need to be specific in what it is you do. You need to find your niche. You need to find that little dot in the universe, in your sector, in your industry, that is going to differentiate you from everyone else, so you can actually know what your audience is in relationships. What is the type of man, woman you're looking for, what is the type of business partner you're looking for, because everything is relationships in this life. And only when you gain that type of clarity and specificity, you will be able to achieve what it is that you want in life. Everything is intertwined, right? Everything is linked together. You need to do one thing to achieve the rest. When you're just vaguely, it's just like you're swimming into the ocean. When you're swimming into a sea of ocean that is vague and vast and just huge, how will you get onto that buoy? How will you get to your lifeboat to be saved? But so you need to narrow down the sea, you need to narrow down the ocean. You don't need to be swimming into this huge ocean. Jump into the pool, which is more specific, which is more clear, that you know that you're working, and the area that you're working on, the area that whatever it is that you want to achieve, is a much more smaller, so you can become greater at that, and then you can make it broader. So when you actually know exactly what it is that you're doing and exactly what it is you're trying to achieve. It's so interesting when we're actually working in this sector, and we're trying to understand the different modalities that go into like manifesting, which one of them is actually being very specific, having the specificity and clarity in your life. Well, I hope I'm gonna leave you and love you. We're close to the 15 minutes, as I always want. I'm gonna love you and leave you here today. I hope you found this live on Facebook and Instagram quite interesting. If you have any comments, please feel free to reach out. I would love to answer any question that you might have. And I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope you're gonna have an even better weekend coming soon. Okay, guys, take care. Thanks.